So here we are. Yes. So welcome everybody to the weekly sleep clinic, and we have a wonderful special guest, Mike, joining us. And the reason I have him here is because he values sleep. So please talk a little bit about yourself, Mike, and then I'll ask you questions.
Okay. I'm one of the people that when the real Father Christmas can't get to visit someone's home or to help with meeting at the company or the corporate Christmas party, I'm one of the guys that he said, well, you've got a big belly and a beard and the right mindset. Can I get you to come and do it for me? And of course, I said yes. But the thing is, for that job, you can't do it when you're tired. Imagine you're coming to someone to home visit and you're talking to the children, and really and truly, you just want to be in bed. I often find myself wanting to be in bed. And that's really, I guess, a little bit about me. I'm very busy in December, less in November, and not too bad the rest of the year, apart from doing admin about that, which can put you to sleep, can't it? Doing admin. Yewande, you said you wanted to ask some questions. Yeah.
I'd love to ask you some questions. So the
Oh,
first
excellent.
question I wanted to ask you is, why do you think sleep is important? Why do you value sleep so much?
Well, I
Touched
really
on it,
value
but
sleep. Sorry.
you touched on it, but I wanted you to please expand.
Yeah, okay. What I find is if I don't get enough sleep, I just don't work properly. I can't relax. I can't do things the right way. I used to commute when I was back working in an office, and it meant I had very long days. And by the time I got home and had an evening, I wound up possibly getting 4 or 5 hours sleep at night, but day after day after day. And it got to the point where I'd be sitting in the office, perhaps in a meeting or perhaps just at my desk, and people would be saying, wake up, and having to jerk me about because I was actually drifting off at work. And it got to the point where the guy who sat opposite me had got the central tube out of a roll of wrapping paper and would reach across our desk and whack me on the head to make me wake up. And I started saying, well, I can't afford to have a full evening when I get home. I have to get to sleep sooner. And got up to sort of 7 hours a night, and it was much, much better. So really, sleep is something I really value. And if I'm not well, my cure for any illness is take to bed and sleep. Yeah, I can sleep the clock round and come out the end of it feeling a lot better.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Wonderful. So, if you could, were there times when you couldn't sleep in the night?
Not really, no. The This last weekend, a few weeks ago, I had a tumble on the Isle of Arran and broke. I think I've broken a toe. I haven't bothered to have
Oh.
it X-ray, but it's all swollen. But at the last weekend, I hadn't been drinking enough, I think, and
Enough water,
everything's
that
piled
is
up.
water.
Yeah, absolutely. You really have to stay. I've lost the word I want to say, meaning you've had enough to drink.
Hydrated.
Hydrated, thank you. The word just went away. Um, yeah, and I think I couldn't have been drinking enough, and I got gout in the base of the big toe that I think I might have broken when I fell, and I was in real pain. All I did with it was I took a couple of paracetamol, went to bed, so the weight was off my foot, and then just stayed in bed the next day, drinking water and only getting up to go to the toilet and just keep falling back to sleep. And that was through Saturday because it's Friday night it started. And by Sunday, I was able to get up and try to keep my foot elevated as much as I could. But the pain had gone. The swelling was back to the swelling it had been before. I can't say the swelling is gone. It's still there, but not as bad as when the gout was working. And to me, sleep is a great medicine to cope with that type of thing.
Brilliant. Wonderful. So one of the things we discussed was that if you're in pain, you may not be able to sleep. But what happened was that you actually rested. So you rested, which enabled you to sleep. And the times you couldn't actually sleep, you kind of rested, and then you were able to drift into sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something my dad always used to say to me. If you're in bed, you're in bed. If you can't sleep, just rest. Try and relax and let your mind run away on other things. And that's actually what I do to get to sleep.
Yes.
I sort of picture a scenario. It used to be I was in the crow's nest on a pirate ship. I don't know what, and then you put yourself in this scenario and think about things there. And it takes you, if you've got thoughts racing through your mind, it takes you away from that. And currently and I don't know why it's like this, but I'm up a mountain and down below me there's a crevice and a couple of planks going across it. And for some reason, I'm up at the top of the mountain and I've got a rifle. I don't know why. And then I put myself there, and before I know it, it's the next morning
Brilliant.
because I've just drifted off to sleep.
So
I
you're
think this
using
thing,
imagination and visualization.
yeah, and move into that what will become the
Oh,
basis
God.
for a dream, I guess. Then it just takes you, if you've got bills and activities all scudding through your head, just that little step away from it seems to help make it much easier to get to sleep.
Fantastic. I'm really pleased about that. So we've got some things in the chat. We've got a lady called Joanne Church. I'm Joanne. The reason I am on this call is because I'm very anxious and upset. Put in a lot of work into my college course and I'm going to fail it. So Joanne, we're actually recording this call. Is that okay or not? Okay. So the thing is that you've worked very hard and you put in a lot of work, but you will have another chance to take it, wouldn't you, in the future, hopefully. So that's the kind of thing you need to find out whether you can take the course in the future. So you sit with this disappointment and anxiety and but you don't dwell on it and you look for the positives. So you've worked very hard, which is excellent. You put in a lot of effort, which is excellent. You've learned something, which is excellent. And you've taken an initiative to go to college. So there's lots and lots of positives. So let's try to focus on the positives. And even if you do fail it, quite often people let you take the exam again at some point in the future. So we'll look forward to a positive future where you can pass in the future. Does that help? And sometimes it's good to write down your thoughts as well and write down. So one of the things that really helps is write down 5 things you're grateful for. And if you can write that down, that takes your mind off the negatives and the anxiety, and then you look for the positives. So I try to give you 5 things like, you've worked hard, you've taken initiative, you've learned a lot, you've gone and done something really good to help people, and you've taken the exam and you've learned from it. So at least 5 good things have come from that, and well done. We can all give you a clap for all your hard work. Well done, Joanne. Brilliant. Fantastic. So,
And as you say, even without the qualification,
yeah.
Joanne, you'll have acquired a lot of knowledge which you'll find useful even without the qualification, I would
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of transferable skills as well that you have in hard work, dedication, focus. There's a lot of things that you can take from it and use in other parts of your life. So it's very, very positive. Well done. And some of us aren't very good at exams either. So maybe some of us can improve on our exam techniques and the way we're assessed. Those are the things that we always have things to improve on. I've got a lot of things to improve on. Right, so we've got someone here, and she has to have a sleeping tablet every night, and she has Parkinson's disease. So one of the things I find when in my talking to people is if we can't sleep, we'll rest. So we're putting effort into resting. So a couple of things with that is we're breathing slowly and comfortably, and that kind of kicks in our parasympathetic nervous system, which comes in once we've slept, and it brings in healing and detoxing. And also what we do is sometimes, if we can, is we kind of flop and we relax. So we're putting effort into relaxation. So relaxation by breathing and physical relaxation are very important for our wellness. So if we put effort into those 2 things, I'm finding that a lot of people gain from that, putting effort into resting and relaxation. And also things like listening to positive music to relax us, that helps. or listening to, for my husband, for instance, at night, he puts this thing around his eyes and then it sends kind of audiobooks in, and he finds that that drifts him and he sleeps. So doing things that helps us to relax are really important. So it could be music, could be sounds, it could be reading before bedtime. Even you were saying, Mike, weren't you, about reading before bedtime? It's really good, isn't it?
Yes, I find a really half an hour or so before going to sleep, having gone to bed, don't not using screens at all, not looking at the phone, not looking at computers, but reading a book, a proper physical book, rather than this is, I think, the one case where the
Yeah,
Kindle falls down.
yeah,
It's just it helps you to relax.
yeah.
Um, and of course, with children as well, if your children have trouble sleeping, reading a book with them at night, telling a story is great, but reading a book is also great because it's taken their minds away from whatever their own problems might be.
Mm,
And it also, I mean, it's really constructive. It helps with your bonding together and it helps them to learn to read and about the pleasures of reading because a lot of formal education these days, it's the mechanics of reading.
mm.
Whereas if they hear a parent reading a book and sort of it helps them to identify the different characters, the different ways we can use language.
Yeah,
Sorry, I put on a bit of a hobby horse there,
very good.
but
I
it
think
does
it's
help them
excellent.
sleep as well.
Yeah, sleep,
Yeah.
reading is good. Um, for us to help us as well. So one of the things I want people to do, and I do as well, is try and have a good sleep to bed connection. So there's only a few things I do in bed, which is sleep, rest, relax, and obviously be intimate. But people don't shouldn't take their phone into bed with them. They shouldn't take their laptop into bed with them. If they take a book to bed with them, it should be one of those books that helps them relax. So I prefer, ideally speaking, for people to maybe read on a nice sofa and then go to bed. But some people say, so if they take a book to bed with them, it helps them to actually sleep and rest and relax. So you need to make the best decision for yourselves. It's really important to do that, to try and decide, is this going to help me to actually fall asleep? Or is it going to keep me awake? So we want to do something that's going to help us fall asleep, not keep us awake. So sound healing sessions are quite good as well, aren't they? Because they help you fall asleep. That's brilliant. Um, um, so bedtime routine is also very good because we've got Christine saying that it's very important to have a good best bedtime routine, but no motivation to improve it. So yes, being so Christine, you can come back next week and let us know how you got on because one of the things that's really good because we're creatures of habits, we should try if we can to have a bedtime routine. So what works for you? So it could be drink. So usually I tell people try not to drink anything 2 hours before going to bed. I know it's a long time, but I try and make it an hour and 2 hours depending if I'm going out or not. And then also do some things like move a bit slower. Um, also like maybe have a bath if you've got time or wash, brush the teeth. So all the things that you're that signaling to your brain that you're going to bed. I usually put moisturizer on my feet. I dim the light. So things that kind of really working for you should be able to have a nice calm time for all of us to go to bed and relax and rest. So it's very important to us to find the motivation to improve it is I find that I tend to be calmer and then I'm signaling to my brain that this is bedtime and then I'm more ready to actually fall asleep quicker. That's my motivation when I have a good routine and I implement it. Brilliant. So I'm having a look if we have any more things in the does anyone want to say anything else? Sorry, I must get the door again.
I'm sorry, Joanne, I haven't been made co-host, otherwise I could turn on your volume. I was just going to add on what Yewande said. I've just ordered some of her joint balm for my wife Sue, who gets arthritis. And I think it'd be really good if we can make that part of our bedtime routine that I rub the balm onto her hand. And that will help her to relax. And it can be part of the routine that will help me know this is bedtime, this is relaxation time. Would you say that was right, Rwanda, or do you think I'm talking
Yes,
nonsense?
I agree with you. So another thing I do is I usually spray something on my pillow as well, just before I sleep. So I know it sounds a bit weird, but it's a citrus spray because I don't like lavender on my bed, but people are different. So that signals to me that it's nearly bedtime and I'm about to go to sleep. We've got a raised hand. Please go carry on. Carry on, Joanne. You raised.
I was just gonna ask you, um, I'm going through the perimenopause, and I just feel a lot of the times during the day I feel tired all the time,
Yeah.
and I tried putting like sleep spraying mist on my pillow, but I haven't had much help from my doctor, and I was just wondering if there's anything like and I'm trying not to put my laptop or my phones by my bed when I'm sleeping. Is there anything else you can recommend? Because I'm waking up sometimes during the night as well because I'm getting the night sweats and other stuff.
Yeah, so it might be nice to have a nap during the day, if you're so inclined. So the nap should be either about 20 minutes or an hour and a half if you have time. 20 minutes means that you're the first, it's the first part of the sleep. And then an hour and a half means that you have the whole sleep cycle.
Mm.
So some people say, oh, I had 40 minutes sleep and I feel tired. So it's best to do one or the other when you're having a nap. Also, what you could do is maybe get the doctor to do an iron test for you. I know they're not very helpful sometimes, but you may be able to find that you're low on iron. So that's something that can help. Maybe get them to give you iron supplements. And don't forget to put your feet up as well, and then do some you squeeze the whole body, and then you go like this and relax, and then you do comfortable deep breathing. So it's just one of those things that just keep reminding yourself that it's temporary and it will come to an end. It's not forever. Menopause and perimenopause isn't forever. It will come to an end, but we want to relax and rest through it and do our best to cope, and look after ourselves. Eat all the things we're supposed to eat, like green vegetables is good as well. Um, have enough water. When you're feeling low, ring a friend. I always tell people that even if they feel terrible, say you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel terrible, you could always ring the Samaritans. The numbers online, because sometimes we have people we need to talk about things that are really distressing us. Let's talk about it and get over it, and we'll feel better for it. Yeah,
I think for the night sweats, a practical thing is if you can have a fan in your room
yeah,
and
that
just
can help.
throw off the duvet and have the fan on for a little while. The sound of the fan is quite like a white noise to help you get back to sleep, and it will cool you.
Yeah,
That's with when the heat of the summer, we quite often wind up doing that, or just having a sheet over us and a fan on, sort of with the timer set for an hour, so that it. But you might need it on at a specific, when the heat wakes you up.
definitely. And we've got a Simba pillow, which reduces temperature, which is great as well. And quite often some of my friends will have a ice knit to cool them round a towel, and they take it and they put it on them and then put it down again. But obviously, you want to disrupt sleep as little as possible, but try and work out what works for us to help us relax and rest and and when we wake up in the middle of the night, that's something people talk about as well. We want to go back to sleep as soon as possible. So it could be a fox, it could be noise, it could be all sorts of things. But our aim is to just try and get back to sleep as soon as possible. Even perfect people who sleep perfectly, they usually wake up for a few moments at the end of their cycle, but they go back to sleep and they don't really notice. So it usually happens 4 times a night for even normal sleepers who can sleep through the night. Do we have any other questions, comments, issues? Please, Mike, can you put your details in the chat so that people can actually get in touch with you if they want to? We've
Yes,
got
of
your
course.
email there. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I'll
And
pop that
any
in.
other questions, comments? Thank you so much for attending. I hope you find this useful. I'm hoping it's something that we can make ourselves accountable. You're very welcome to come back next week. As I said, it's Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And if you want someone like me to be accountable to, you can put me a note in the chat next week. You don't have to tell everyone. It could have been a private note to say, this is how I'm getting on. One of the ladies I worked with, I asked her about her sleep, and she said that she was sleeping later and later. And then later on, I asked her, and she said, "Oh, I've realized how important my sleep is, and I'm going to take the best thing, and sleep on time, eat on time, do exercises." And I feel so much better because she feels so much better. She was able to go out. I mean, we had that session on forest bathing with Robert Fisher, and he talked to us that if we go out in any open space, it helps us sleep better. It's really amazing, isn't it, that that happens? So yeah, I've recorded that and I can send that out to people if they want me to. But it's one of those things that's amazing. So next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to cover, but because I try and play it by ear. We usually have a guest every month, so we have another guest in October, and my aim is to get everyone to sleep, rest, and relax better. Because when we do, we feel so much better for it. So everyone, you've got Santa Mike's information in the chat. If you have any more questions, if you have any gigs you want to send him on, and he's also written a book as well. So if you want to check out his book, he's written. So you tell him about the book. You tell people about the book you've written, Santa Mike.
Perhaps our mute would help. Yeah, I've written 3 children's books. Santa and the Gingerbread Man, Santa and the Lighthouse, and Athol's Wonderful Christmas. I've written them under the pen name Henley Santa. I've got a 4th one in the works at the moment about the 3 little pigs and Santa. I'm quite enjoying that. But I have done some ebooks, short ebooks on the benefits of showing appreciation, whether it's in your family, in your school, in church, in business, or in local community. I think not enough people show appreciation, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to give people, even if it's as simple as just a thank you. That was really helpful. It's appreciation is a great thing, and
yeah, brilliant.
My books are lovely to read to children at bedtime.
Fantastic.
Not that
And
once a month.
what age group is it?
The children's books, I think, would be reading to them from about age 3, and for them
Okay.
to read themselves probably from about age 5 or 6, depending on how quickly they pick up reading.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, of course, children, if you're reading to them, eventually they'll be able to read that book, even if they can't read, because they know when we see that picture, this is what we say.
Yeah. I used
It's
to read to my
helping.
boys as well. They loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're old enough to read to themselves. They're in their 20s.
Olga's got a hand up.
Yes, I would like to ask, my problem isn't feel asleep. I could feel asleep at evening, at night start, but at 4 o'clock morning, I always awake. And this is the problem because after 4, sometimes I couldn't get asleep more. And it's too short time for me. And I feel tired all day after that. What shall I do in this case?
A very good question. So is it regular then?
Yes, it's regular now.
Okay. And is there any reason, do you think?
Oh, I don't know the reason, because of course there is something and some anxiety and worrying, but it's continue. This is
Okay. So one of the, as I said before, what you want to do is you want to squeeze your body. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but squeeze the body and then relax so that you're relaxed. And then you want to breathe comfortably. And then you want to tell your brain, which I do. This happens to me a lot as well. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I get, oh no, but what I try and do, I'm doing it more and more, is I squeeze and then I relax. So I'm relaxed. And then I breathe.
yes, I did it breathe exercise always when I
Good,
wake up at this,
good,
but it
good.
doesn't help me
No,
really.
right. So it's practice. So what you do it and you keep doing it and you find, because it takes 3 weeks to form a habit, but you keep doing it. You don't stop. And because I've been doing it, I'm finding I'm falling asleep um quicker. So before it, I don't like looking at my clock because I find it distressing. So I don't look at my clock, but I'm finding that I'm sleeping quicker. So in my mind, I know I'm sleeping quicker. And then I tell my mind, if you don't sleep, you rest. If you don't rest and if you don't sleep, don't worry because you're lying there and you're safe and so I've got 2 alarms next to me and I don't get up until my alarms go. So what you do is you say to your brain, if I don't rest, if I don't rest, I'll feel tired more. So I'm going to stay in bed. I know it's hard until my alarm goes off. So you decide what time your alarm goes off and you stay in bed until that time, resting and breathing deeply. I know
Yeah.
it's difficult, but if you do it, and I've done it, I know I find I'm not as tired. I'm not falling asleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm not tired. I can stay until my bedtime. Do you want to try that and let me know how you get on next week?
Okay, I will try.
Yeah.
But it's the other problem that because I have a few time go to toilet for peeing.
Yes.
It's mean it starts in this time from 4 to 6 o'clock. Yeah,
Yes.
it's there is some
I understand. But you know what I said? Try not to drink or eat anything 2 hours before you go to bed.
I doing this 3 hours before I go to bed.
So you don't
3 hours,
drink or eat
yes.
anything 3 hours before you go to bed.
Yeah, I did it 3 hours before go to bed.
Very
I
good.
stop eat and drink at 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock evening. Yeah,
That's
8
good.
p.m. Yeah,
That's good.
but it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's all right. So what you do is when you need to go, you want to go to bed and sleep as soon as possible and rest. So say you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you need to go to the loo. Make sure everything's clear so no one falls over. And then you go back to bed and then you go, let's try it. You squeeze your whole body and then you go like that, rest. And then you're deep breathing comfortably until your alarm goes off.
yeah,
Rested. And because you've rested, you should feel better than if you didn't rest. Does that make
yeah.
sense? Yeah?
Yes, of course. I need only till 6 o'clock. I don't need more even
Good.
because all my life I didn't sleep long time. I sleep always 6, 7 o'clock. In this case, I need at six at minimum to have sleep
Yes.
till
Yes.
6 o'clock morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stay in bed until your alarm goes off at 6 o'clock. And then if you need a nap during the day, if you're tired, do 20 minutes or 1.5 hours during the day if you're tired. But
Yeah.
otherwise, rest. The most important thing is resting, breathing and resting. Those
Yeah.
are when we do that, we feel better because our body is resting. We're putting our body in a way that we're resting. I always say to people, if you can't sleep, please rest. Put effort into resting. Squeeze, release body, relax, and then breathe comfortably. Because once we breathe in comfortably, our brain will take over the breathing and it will be doing the breathing for us. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. But I listen another opinion that if you tired physically in the daytime, it means you work in garden at home and the better you sleep. And
Yes.
you said opposite. I have to rest more.
No, it's good.
What is
It's good. If you're tired, rest, but it's good to have physical activity during the day. Definitely, definitely. But if you're tired, I'm always say, please do this physical activity safely during the day. You're safe, you move. Yes, you must do that. But I'm not being contradictory. I'm saying once you've done your physical activity and you're tired, take a nap for 20 minutes or 1.5 hours. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, but I never have nap in all my life. I couldn't sleep at daytime.
Fine. If you can't sleep
Yes.
during the day, rest at night.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not everyone can sleep during the day. Some of my family members can't sleep during the day, but they tend to go to bed a bit earlier than me. If I'm tired, I can nap, but I'm a late person. That's you sound like an early bird. You go to bed early and you rise early.
Yeah, I will try. Yeah.
Yeah.
10:30, I will try to go.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
yeah
Thank you. Any other
advices.
questions? Relaxing session. Oh, thanks, Janice. Oh, had a hip replacement. Oh, send you love and all good wishes for your recovering of your hip replacement. Oh, I wish you well.
I've not had it yet, Yewande.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully things will improve once you get it and once you've had that. Because I know people who've had it and they've recovered really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad it's been a very relaxing section for you. Does anyone have any other questions or comments? I hope you've got what you wanted from this session because I want it to be something that helps us to sleep, relax and rest and feel better for it. And also come back next time and feel, you've had some sort of accountability. Oh, we've got another message at the bottom. Thank you. We'll see how the week goes. Yeah, we'll see how the week goes. Hope to see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, comments, please put them in the chat. I was gonna ask if anyone wants any of the information. I can send you some information, some tips. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next week or out and about. Thank you so much
And
for
it's on
joining.
Tuesday. Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Tuesday next
it's
week.
on Tuesday at 1 o'clock next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
I'll stop
you.
recording now. Thank you.
Thank you.